I was a child, I always felt as though starting your period was one of the worst things that could happen to a girl. I remember that when one of my close friends told me that she had started her period, I instantly wanted to get away from her. I was so afraid that being close to her would lead me to also start my period. Menstruation was such a confusing and deeply uncomfortable thing for me. In fact, I once temporarily stopped watching one of my favorite cartoons because the protagonist started her period. I was watching this show with my older brother, and I was so embarrassed to hear them talking about sanitary pads that I stopped watching the show out of fear that the episode would repeat again with my brother watching. Menstruation was such a mystery for all of us back then. All the girls knew that menstruation is something that happened to them, but none of us actually understood what it was and why it was happening. I started my own period about a month after my 13th birthday. I was so afraid that it took me 3 days to tell my mother. And when I did eventually tell her, she handed me a pad and she told me how to use it, and that was it. She did not give me any more information beyond that. My entire experience of puberty was filled with shame, misinformation, and disinformation. In fact, my friends told me once that when a girl gets her period, it means that there's an egg inside of them. And every month, that egg breaks. And the blood that you see is the blood from inside of that egg. Folks, it was only until the age of 16 that I knew what a period was and the impact thereof. I learned about menstruation for the first time in my grade 11 biology class. My biology teacher was a Greek man, and he represented a safe space for me to learn about my own reproductive system. And then I began my own journey of caring for myself and, most of all, loving myself. I menstruated for almost 4 years without any understanding of what was happening to me and why. Fortunately, I had resources to menstruate in a healthy and dignified manner. However, there are millions of girls and women around the world who do not. And that is why we are gathered here today. How many more young girls out there are still caught in a web of shame that is amplified by the lack of access to resources for a healthy and dignified period?